That is probably, my guess would be a pike. Got him. Oh, that's heavy. That's either a big bass or a big pike. Welcome back, everybody. So this is the start of our 2025-2026 ice fishing season, and I could not be more excited. A little out of shape also. We trekked all the way out here. The snow was completely undisturbed, so nobody's been out here yet. Sun's just about to come up. I'm super excited. Let's get after it. First hole. There's actually a lot more ice than I had anticipated. We have gone out one other time. We didn't film anything from that, and that lake only had a couple inches ice. This is probably pushing close to 5, so pretty decent ice. It looks very well made, and so that's great. We'll be able to trek around a little bit today. Let's get after it. So panning around, we have a fair amount of fish. There looks to be 4 or 5 right there, but we have a bunch of brush piles, standing timber, all that. So we are going to start here just as an easy place. There's a bunch of fish right there. There's probably like 7 or 8 right there. So we're going to start, and that one doesn't look too bad, but we're going to start someplace easy, not make it too complicated our first trip out. Let's go ahead and drill some holes over there, set up the tip ups, and see if we can't get lucky. Since it's the beginning of the year in our first trip, we're going to talk a little bit about what I use for gear. So as far as tip ups go, I really prefer the round disc ones because they do a wonderful job of keeping snow out of your hole, and then also it does a pretty decent job of trapping that heat to kind of prevent them from icing over quite as fast. So I like the Frable ones. That's what I've always used. Almost every company's got them. You can use the beaver dam style ones that are open, and then go ahead and put they can have foam discs that you can put over the top that basically does the same thing, but it's one less piece of equipment that you have to bring around. So all right, we got our tip ups out. Now we'll just wait for those, get the shanty set up, and start hopefully catching some panfish. I wanted to talk about, oh, there's one, our gear, but there are so many fish down here. I didn't want to miss the opportunity if it was a window or something like that. So we're going to see if we can't catch some fish, and we'll talk about our gear during or at the end of the video, one of the two. Come on, buddy, eat it. He's on it. Touched it. It's our first swing and the miss of the year. Oh, there's 2 now. As long as he didn't grab my waxworm. They should compete. Oh my gosh. They're finicky. I think that one grabbed my waxworm. Oh, there's like, that's a better one. Got him. That was the better one out of all of them. And that's what, that was a crappie. First fish of the year is, that's over a 10-inch crappie. I think not one of those stole my waxy. There we go. What a way to start it. Thick too. If we were frying fish, that would be a good one to take home. Yeah, we got an 8-inch hole, and she is definitely well over 8. Might be close to 11. What a way to start it. I thought one of those other bluegill had taken my waxworm. But that is phenomenal. I wasn't anticipating crappie. I was thinking bluegill. Oh, there's a decent one that's coming in too. Another, clearly everybody's out doing projects today. But that is a great way to start. Let's get some more. There's a school of them. Wonder what those are. An absolute school. Oh gosh, he smoked it. Absolutely. Oh, it's a big old gill. Can get that thing down there. There's a bunch more down. That's probably an 8-inch gill. We were just putting on a show for good sized fish. We're gonna have to get out the pliers for him. Eight-inch gill, 10.5-inch crappie. Wish I had brought my board for the crappie. Might not be quite 8. Nope, he's touching both ends. He's definitely 8. Might have been a smidge over. Good gracious. There were some bigger ones that came in with him. They might have been crappie, but it was just a school of like 5 fish all at once. Just converged on the bait, and that wasn't even like a little tap. That like bent over the rod. Oh, this is what you can hope to expect for early ice. And I have fished for more than enough years to know that this definitely doesn't happen all that often, and it can definitely shut off same day. And it can be a grind for a lot of winter, but when you have good days like this, starting out to be at least, got a ways to go. Alright, there's no fish on the screen right at the moment, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the gear that I use. My shanty is insanely spacious. I love it. I got it, I think, 2 years ago. It's the Clam Nanook XT Thermal. Incredibly warm. Tons of space, as you can see by all my electronics and all my extra buckets and all that good stuff. You can fish 2 people very comfortably in here. I do like the XT version because when you have those hook sets, you aren't ever hitting the ceiling or anything else like that, and you can, if you get a little wild with it, you could potentially break a rod tip or something like that. But do love the XT for that. I've got the Ice Team Edition, which comes with an extra light bar already built into it. It's not that difficult to put a light bar into a shanty if you don't have one already, but it is nice that it comes pre-made for that with the wiring and all that good stuff. Yeah, love this thing. As far as my heater, just a little portable buddy. I've never had to go any bigger than that, and again, this shanty keeps you super warm, so don't have to worry about that. My electronics, I got the old school live scope. I got the 32, but it's done really well for me. I've never actually even had to change out the battery. This is the one that comes stock from Garmin with the ice fishing bundle. I've never had to change anything on it. Love it. I might update it or get a new version at some point in time, but right now she's doing really solid for me. So we'll see how much the battery kind of has degraded. I think I've had this for, I want to say 4 years, at least 3, but we'll see if the battery life has kind of decreased on it. We might have to get a new battery, but we'll see about that. As far as my rods, my main go-to, it's caught me everything from like mid 30, upper 30-inch pike down to the smallest of bluegills. I love this thing. It's the Tickle Stick from 13 Fishing. And what do we got? I think it's the 27, yep, 27 ultralight. And then I've got it paired with the 13 Fishing Freefall Carbon. They have the plastic ones, but obviously with, you know, the cold and everything else like that, makes me a little nervous that it'd be a little bit more fragile. But I love this thing. Got it a couple of years ago. This is the one I use probably 80% of the time. Do have a couple spinning rods too. A little bit more stout ones in case we're fishing specifically for bass and pike. But this thing can handle everything. It's wild. I like it a lot. I like the neon tip with it too. Easy to see in like those low light conditions, and with those crappie that do, you know, can upbite your lures, really easy to tell with that. Obviously with that crappie that we had earlier, was not the case. Didn't need that. Didn't need to worry about it biting light, but for those finicky fish, it works out wonderfully for that. And again, the 27-inch fits really well in the shanty. Again, I'm not ever hitting the ceiling or anything else like that. So that is kind of my setup for the most part. We talked about tip-ups out there already. I do have a new tip-up I'm going to be using probably in the next couple days to weeks, and I'm very excited about that. We'll do a whole video on that. That's pretty neat. Pretty excited about that. And then, as far as my auger, I have the Alpha Ion 8 Plus. I love that thing. You almost hardly have to charge the batteries for them. I do have the 2 batteries for it, but it cuts through ice like butter. It is so wild. And then on top of it, the longevity of those batteries, I've had that for, I think this is going on my 3rd year for it now, and I've drilled hundreds of holes in a day and never had an issue, and drilled it through, I mean, like a foot of ice. So if you ever burn through a battery, you must have had some type of day. But we do always have I bought the 2, so we always have a backup just in case something goes wrong. But incredibly light, easy to carry around. But yeah, I think that's kind of, for the most part, that's kind of it. And as far as a little terminal tackle, we just have I think it's a clam snowdrop or something like that on there that the fish seem to like, but kind of like I was concerned about. It might have been just a quick little window. They might have cut in real close to that cover. So we might have to end up potentially bopping around, but we'll stick it out here for a little bit. Oh, there's one, just as I said that. That one's not real big. He came in hot and stopped. There's a smaller one. Oh, there's a couple of them. Oh, that's gonna eat. Oh no, he stopped too. Oh no. After you have a couple fish do that sort of thing, that's kind of when I'm switching potentially colors and stuff like that. Because they looked interested enough initially, and then just kind of stopped. So that's when I'm switching to either a different color, jig head, something like that. If you've got wax worms, you might want to try a spike. Potentially downsizing a little bit, upsizing, to try and figure those fish out just a little bit. There's a few down there now. Trying to keep it away. That's the one great thing about live scope. You can kind of see the size of fish. There we go. That's the bigger of the... Oh, we missed him. That was the bigger one that we were shooting for too. Oh, he came right back to it. Got him that time. So out of the 3 fish that were down there, we were able to keep it away kind of. Oh, if that's the bigger one, that's not looking good. He could have just been lined up perfectly with live scope. There's that one. There's one sitting on the bottom there that might be a perch. Be the trifecta of panfish day. There's one. Little guy. Oh, but there's our perch. He actually was a ways off the bottom. That was kind of weird. There's a better one down there. We got all 3 species in a matter of, how long have we been on here? Not even 20 minutes. Got him. Little guy. Oh. You have to get the pliers for you too? Nope. Another little one. Probably I'd say 6, maybe 5 3/4. Got him. That's a same size. He looked a little bit bigger on screen though. Little one. There's a bunch of those. That one. Same size. They're good looking bluegill though. With this many bluegill around, I'm not sure if there's going to be a ton of predators. I don't think we'd see quite as many. Oh, flag. Just kidding. Just kidding. There's pliers, all that good stuff. Spreaders in case it was a pike. Turn our heat off so we don't burn our shanty down. Got trains going by, of course. That's how it works. First flag of the year too. Oh, and he's hauling. Oh gosh. That is probably, my guess would be a pike. Got him. Oh, that's heavy. That's either a big bass or a big pike. That's heavy. He might be, oh, he might be in trees. Yeah, he's got to be in some weeds or trees or something, because there's no way he's that heavy. Just hoping the GoPro doesn't die. Oh, that was weird. First, there's our, see that heavy? Oh, that's a big pike. That's just a big pike. All right, we don't want to break them off. I do have a fluoro leader, so it should be fine. Oh my gosh. I didn't bring a board either. This is good. We can do this. Right in the corner too. That's good. You kidding me? This is mid 30, upper 30 for our first flag of the year. This is ridiculous. That's probably a 35, 34. Let's see if we can't get them. And we're trying to be nice. You were being so good. Just trying to put you back in the water so we could get you unhooked. Easy. Look at that tail on him. All right. Perfectly in the corner. That's awesome. Done. That could not have gone more perfect besides the splash. Here we go. One last look at her. What a solid fish. That's crazy. This might be one of the best first trips I've taken in a long time. I guess we were out one time before this and didn't do very well, but that was just a quick thing. All right, let's get, we'll probably have to retie at least the hook. I didn't get it too bad, but oh yeah, just a tiny bit. We'll go ahead and get it set up and we'll talk about our tip-ups. All right, let's talk about our gear now. So again, I like the Frable circular tip-ups, and again, I do have another one that I'm gonna try out here not too terribly long. Very excited about. But as far as line goes, for just my main line, I think it's 40 pound. And that seems to do super well for me. I mean, if you end up in trees or something like that, typically it's thick enough that you can kind of like bust that loose a little bit. And then my leader depends on what I'm fishing for and what I'm fishing around. So when I'm fishing for pike, or when there's a pretty decent opportunity for pike, I actually like 40 pound. 40 pound fluoro leader is kind of what has worked well for me. I've used 20, I've used 30. All of it seems to be able to get bit off pretty easily. 40's not impenetrable either. It will most certainly get bit off, but the number of bite offs I have are far less, and I'd rather catch a couple fewer fish than to leave hooks and fish. So yeah, that's kind of why I go with the 40 when there's pike around. If there aren't pike and I'm just fishing bass, 15 pound fluoro seems to do really well for me. A little bit more finessey. You catch a few more fish. But if I'm fishing around a bunch of sticks and brush and everything else like that, I will go up to like 20-ish pound fluoro for bass and stuff like that. But yeah, that seems to do really, really well. I don't like going thicker than 40. I will occasionally, but it just becomes so stiff at that point in time that shiner down there, minnow, whatever, it can't really move around all that naturally. So that being said, this was a little bit smaller of a shiner than I typically would use. We're fishing in an area that's got a bunch of small bass and everything else like that. So if I was fishing for a fish that size, I would not be using a bait that small, but clearly it worked. So yeah, we got a couple hour and a half left. Let's see if we can't get another one. I don't know that we can make it today much better than what it already has been, but this is why you fish early season and fish away from people too. There's a big old group of people further down the lake, and we're off in the middle of nowhere catching fish. We'll take a small one. Whoop. Yep. Yeah, those bigger fish, I think, kind of moved out or moved closer to the trees. We're not too far away, but that's kind of the direction they were heading, is even closer than what we are. Yeah. Little gill. Looked much bigger on camera. Get him. Little guy. There's a little one. Oh, there's another one down there. Let him go. We lost a waxy. No. This is when plastics are wildly helpful, because if you do have a bunch of fish on screen, you don't have to mess around with trying to hook more on or anything else like that. Oh, and he left. That was either a monster crappie or a pig. Oh. There's a pike underneath us. I hooked into this bluegill and he came in screaming. I got a flag right outside. That's a good gill though. I'm surprised that he would want to try to attack this guy. I've got a flag right outside. As soon as I set the hook into this fish, he came screaming in. Alright, we've caught enough small fish, so we are going to upsize just a tiny bit. We've seen a couple of decent sized fish out there, so we're going to upsize just a little bit to a micro Z viber. See if that bass, crappie, whatever I had seen, might be a little bit more interested in that. Big bluegills, most certainly. I mean, small bluegills still eat this too. You might ward a few off, but they'll still eat it plenty fine. I want to try and see if we can't catch one more. And there's a few. Oh, that one doesn't look too bad. Oh, immediately. Oh, and we missed him. That one didn't look too bad. Maybe that was a good move. Got him. That's not a big one. See, small ones will most certainly eat it, but it did bring in an absolute ton of fish instantly as soon as we started dropping this down and ripping around. So, oh, there's a bunch of them down there. Oof. Got that one. Little guy. But yeah, I think putting on the Z Viber, getting a little bit of vibration and noise down there, definitely brought a lot more in. I guess that could be happenstance also, but we'll act like we made a good decision. Got him. We moved up. That's a little bit better of one. Oh yeah. We move up the size of our Z Viber. I think we were on the micro. I think. Oops. Stop. We moved up to the mini, and that is a gorgeous, gorgeous gill. That's pushing. That's definitely over 8. That's 8. That's probably close to 8.5. There we go. But yeah, moved up size, just next biggest size of the Z Viber, and that one came in and crushed it. There's one. Took a while, a little guy. There have been some bigger ones that have rolled through every once in a while, but they're way more finicky than they were this morning. Could almost put him on a tip-up. And no more flags since that first one. Did see that other pike, but he clearly didn't see our shiners or didn't close to them or something. Yeah, him too. Little guy. Whoop. Tiny bit bigger. There we go. Alright, we'll fish for a little bit longer. Hope to get lucky with maybe one more decent fish, but I think our window for the morning is kind of over. There's one. That one's not too bad. This will probably be our last one. Oh, not a big one. That'll probably be our last one because they've been coming on the screen much less consistently, so we will get him off. Oh my, he got hooked super well. He was not coming off. Little guy, probably a 6, nothing exciting, but we'll let that guy go. Well, that will probably be our last fish of our first trip, unless, I guess, a flag pops while we're packing up and whatnot, but a great first trip. We ended up with the trifecta for panfish. We caught a couple decent bluegill, one nice crappie, a tiny little perch, a decent pike, and in all honesty, if we had caught a decent bass, I don't think we could have had a better first trip out. I hope every trip goes as well as today did, but we only fished for about a little bit over 2 hours, and I mean, we could have caught plenty of more small bluegill if we had kept on like a tiny tungsten or something like that, but I was hoping for a couple of the bigger fish. But yeah, not a bad trip at all, but we will most certainly be out again fishing some different lures. If there's any lures that you guys want me to go ahead and fish and review and everything else like that, I most certainly can go ahead and look into that. I've got some exciting things that we're going to go ahead and do this ice fishing season. Very excited to start it off. Even more happy that we started off well. But as always, if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Till next one.